Hi everyone, it's me Darlene. It is time once again to attempt an Upcycled Fashions video. Let's just get this out of the way right now. This is not a tutorial. I'm just gonna flat out say that. I want to be free to just do what I feel like doing and not worry if I'm actually teaching you anything. I think anyone who sews would be able to get an idea of how to do what I'm doing. But remember, I have tried this never. I am doing it for the first time with you guys today. So there could be lots of failures along the way. The end product might be horrible. It might be wonderful. We don't know. I do think that there's a good idea in here. I have been inspired by a video by someone named Slick and Natty. I love her. She's just so cute, but she does all her sewing by hand stitches. I believe she's in India or somewhere out there, and she has no access, I guess, to a sewing machine. So it's really cool for people who want to do hand sewing. I would not have the patience to hand sew side seams and things like that, but she does it, and she's pretty cool. She took an oversized man's shirt. I don't have an oversized man's shirt, but I have this woman's blouse with long sleeves. You want it to have long sleeves, and if you want it to fit an adult, you're going to need a big man's shirt, like 3X or something, because you want it long enough to be a skirt. We are going to turn this, or attempt to turn this, into like an overall skirt, dungarees, you know, skirt like with a bib and the straps over the shoulders. I think I might be able to accomplish that, but I don't think this will be long enough for my big mannequin. I'm hoping it will be long enough for my smaller mannequin. Now again, I injured myself. I don't cut these things with a size in mind, so after I'm done, we just have to hope it fits at least one of my mannequins. If not, you'll see it modeled on a hanger. I think if we can nail down at least an idea out of this, what cool skirts that would make for little girls. You could make an overall skirt for any size child, I would think, with a blouse. So let's just get started and see how we do. I'm hopeful, somewhat hopeful. I'm not too hopeful. But we're gonna have fun doing it. Let's go. I totally forgot to mention that this shirt comes from Margaret in North Carolina. See, says so right here. Thank you so much, Margaret, for the shirt. I hope I do it justice. The first thing I'm going to do is cut off the sleeves. We need the sleeves for the straps. Just buttoning the shirt. Since I want to keep all the buttons functional, meaning that you can button and unbutton them, I could start the bib here and leave enough seam allowance to, hem this raw edge, and that would be the top button of the bib. That makes the skirt shorter. If I were able to use this as the top button, that gives me a lot more length and have the bib starting up here. I don't know, I guess I could still do the bib there, and I'd have to fold it down. It would just make a funky looking bib. Not too sure. Hey, we can try, and if that doesn't work, then I can always cut it down. So let's do this. I'm going to make the bib like maybe 12 inches across. Let's go with that. I can already tell I'm leaning toward a bigger than smaller jumper, we will call it. It's hard for me to make things for smaller, like girls or even teens, because I just think big. I'm so used to making big clothing. So I'm going to go ahead and cut above that button, just across, like that. Might make for a very weird looking bib, but that's okay. Now we want to create the bib and the sides of this. Let's make the bib like 12 inches wide. I'm going to use the button as my center point, and I should just cut one side because I can just fold to make the other side match. I'm going to go about 10 inches long, and there happens to be a dart there, so I'm going to kind of use that as my guide. I'm going to try to make this as big as I can with what I have. And I'm going to just cut at an angle up to that dart, which was about 10 inches. And now I'm going to go ahead and cut at a curve to going to give me the front of the bib, we think. Do I feel like I want it a little bit more deeper? Just a little bit. Like that. Now I'm going to fold this over and use that side as my pattern for this side. What do we have? We have this. Let's take the back now. I'm going to measure approximately like 5 inches down. I'm going to cut across. Let's fold this in half. And let's go about 2.5 inches. So let's just go about 2.5 to 3 inches, and we're going to cut out to a curve to this seam. Let's start to put this baby together. The right sides together now. I'm going to match up the side seams. Before I do the side seams, I think I'm going to do the hemming. I think that will make a little bit more sense. So let's go to the machine, and I'm going to start by folding these curves twice and stitching on both sides, and then I'm going to do that to the top. So I'm going to hem these curves, just going to fold twice and stitch. It's very easy to sew on a curve like this because it's on the bias. As you sew, you just like straighten it out and it'll just work perfectly every time. See, I just tug on it a little bit and make it straight. Now I'm going to do that to the top. There was no need to back stitch when doing the curves because that is going to be enclosed, but I did do the back stitching on the top. I'm going to do the same with the front of the shirt on the curved armhole parts. And, you know, I'm using this top button here for the top of the bib. So this is going to be a little funky. There's a lot of layers of fabric in there. But I'm going to just, I might fold just once on that thick part. Could maybe pull some of that fabric out. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and trim some of that fabric out of there. Let's just do the best we can. I actually need to unbutton it to do this. Okay, I don't know why it got funky like this and it went up. That's going to make for a weird looking bib. And this side does not look the same as this side. Well, I'm going to try and we'll see what happens. The bib is a little funky. I don't hate it. I haven't decided yet on what I want to do. I really don't want to take it down because I want the skirt to be long. Let's just continue and see how it looks. I think I'm okay with this going on. I think what's bothering me more is that this side is wider than this side. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just take this hem and fold it over once again and sew. We don't have to take anything apart. We'll just make it narrower by doing that. That's going to be good enough for me. Now let's put these two babies together. Right sides together, like this. And we're just going to sew the side seams. I'm just checking. I'm starting at the armhole, and I can see that my hems match up nicely. I'm just going to stitch. This is what we have. I went and threw this on both my mannequins. This does not fit my woman mannequin at all. This part would, because obviously that's, you know, free fitting, but this just does not make it around her hips. So we will have to model it on the smaller mannequin, and it's obviously way too big for her. It's the best we're going to do. I don't want to make it smaller to fit her. I'm just keeping it this size. Let's go ahead and see what we can do here for straps. I'm guessing that I need them to be about 19 inches long, so that gives me plenty of room to make them shorter if needed and to stitch them to the garment. Wow, looks like I'll be able to get like 20 or 21 inches long. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to just cut the cuffs off. I keep forgetting to say that I will link down below to the Slick and Natty video that I was inspired by. Okay, I put these two together. Now just so I don't have to cut for so long, that way I'm going to just go here and I'm cutting like maybe a 2-inch strip. Even it out here. So I have 2 of these. What I will be doing is just folding on each side and then pressing and then folding in half. Then I will just top stitch on both sides to finish the strap. My 2 straps are ready to sew. I'm thinking I would like to put the straps on the outside of the front with some buttons there that won't be functional, but just to make it look cute. So I'm going to hem one end of each of the straps. I'm going to just trim one end of the straps. I'm going to do a zigzag just to finish that. Just to finish that raw edge. We'll do the same for the other strap. And then I'm just going to fold it down about 1/2 inch and just do a straight stitch. So it's going to be something like this, and I'm just going to sew a couple of buttons on top of that. Let me go find my buttons. I wanted purple buttons. I don't know, I just thought it was cool, but I could not find 2 that matched. But I found these nice brown ones, and those are going to work great. So I'm going to just pin this. Okay, so I'm just going to go to the machine and sew my buttons on. To sew buttons by machine, you take off your foot and you put the stitch on like ultra fine, like almost on back stitching. Just put my button there. I'm going to go to zigzag, and then I just usually do it by hand. I just go back and forth, back and forth. Let me see if I can get you to see that. See, I just hold the button down and I do zigzag back and forth until I get all the thread that I want there. Now I can move over to the next hole. You still have to put this down even though you're not using your foot. You still need to put the foot lever thing down. And that's enough. Move over to the next guy. If these come out even, it will be a miracle. I'm not overly concerned about it. Do be very careful because your finger can totally fit under that needle. I would not let a child do this. There. Those look even enough. Now I'm going to go upstairs and I'm going to see how long these straps have to be, and those are going to go on the inside like that. I'm not going to bother with buttons in the back. So I'm going to just go up there with this and some pins, and I'll be right back. This is actually kind of cute. I am so torn as to whether or not I want to go ahead and make it smaller to really fit my mannequin, or if I'm just going to leave it this size. I think I'm going to leave it this size and show you guys what it looks like in the front. The back is going to be way too loose, but I think I'm just leaving it. I'm very curious to see how this would look on Skylar, and if I take it in to fit my little mannequin, then Skylar would never be able to try it on. Alright, I decided to crisscross the straps in the back, and this is about where they need to be. I pinned them. I'm just going to go sew those on. All we have to do is go put this on the mannequin. We are done. I don't have shirts for her. I don't have anything in her size. Look how cute that is. Ooh, I can see it this way. Now, this shirt that is on her, that floral, that's one of my shirts that I just found in a bag. So I have the sleeves rolled up and pinned because it is very big for her and very wrinkled. But it's kind of like filling in the jumper a little bit. So this is what it looks like in the front. I would really like it with like maybe some brown buttons going down the front to match the ones for the straps. I have no problem with this little pointy thing here. I think it's cute. Now the back, I'll have a hard time showing you the back, and it's way big for her, but let me show you. I can't really get behind her because she's too close to the wall. I just pinned the X because it would need to be on a wider person for that to stay that way. And you can see that, you know, I've got this shirt all tucked up and in there. But if somebody was just a little bit wider, this would fit really nice. You know, I have it all pulled to the back to make it look like it's fitting her. But it could fit somebody wider, but yet not my grown-up mannequin. So I hope this gives you an idea. It was really not hard to do at all. And if you had a girl and you made a pattern, you could just knock these out in no time. So I will take some pictures, and I hope you enjoyed, and I will be back with more soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye! I only realized while editing that I never pressed that shirt. I pressed the sleeves, but it would have been nice to have the shirt pressed. If you would like to see more of my upcycled fashions, you can click the playlist at the top right. And please subscribe if you haven't yet. I'd love that. Thanks!